experience is the experiment.
BabyJake, the band. We are here. We are back. Welcome back to LA.
BabyJake and the Mojo now.
BabyJake and the Mojo. They bring the Mojo.
Yeah, they are the Mojo.
They are the Mojo. Well, so everybody, obviously, you've been on.
I'm
here before.
BabyJake.
They know who you are.
Yeah.
Who's everybody else?
I'm Price. Nice to meet you guys.
This is Max right here.
This is Mitch.
We're low on mics right now, so we're sharing the mic. But
That's okay.
I love
We're
it.
here for it.
Caring,
That's
baby.
what we do on stage. We sing together.
Yeah.
Switch
Like,
off
we
a boom
basically
stand
kiss.
like that. So you guys just got here from Nebraska, you were saying?
Yeah.
And you were, what are you on tour, just playing singles right now?
I'm doing like festivals and college dates because I think we kind of made the commitment to tour in fall, like do a full run, like a big headline national run in fall, and then over summer just kind of like, I guess like adapt new fans rather than sell to the fans that are already existing. You know,
And they're getting
And,
their
like,
tickets anyway.
dude, we played Nebraska and there was probably like only like 200 kids or something. It wasn't crazy, but like, dude, I said, I'm selling merch over here. Like I made t-shirts for you guys. I'm taking pictures of everybody. There's probably out of the 200 kids, there's probably 150 kids that stood in line.
See, and that's the thing.
The conversion is like crazy, you know?
People love to see their shows packed, but when these people aren't coming back and there's no retention,
Yeah.
and they don't know who the
Totally.
fuck you are.
Totally.
And you get like, dude, you leave and you have like 100 new Instagram followers or 200 new Instagram followers. Like when we played CMU, I got like probably 500, 300, 400, 500 followers.
That's so
And like,
fucking
it's not
insane.
even a huge
Yeah.
school, you know?
No.
And like, they were going crazy.
That
The
sounds like my
custom
last
shirts,
4
too.
years being on Instagram, 500 new followers.
Yeah, the custom shirts was a smart idea. I did like a specific design.
Different than the one that I saw with the girl
Yeah,
with
no,
the
this
pinup?
was just for Hastings College.
And did you sell out of those?
I sold 30 of them. I did
Unreal.
48. So like, I mean, that's
For a show of 200 people, that's a ridiculous
yeah.
margin.
It might have been like 150 people. Like it was their first.
What, in the crowd?
Yeah.
There's more than that.
I'd call it a good 200.
But it's
You guys
fun.
probably got to get closer than like.
It's fun when it's that intimate though, because like the night before, like having to get to interact with people and see them regularly. Like the night before, some kid hit up Jake and wanted him to like play a song.
Oh yeah, this
And
was
so
crazy.
Jake was like 1v1 me in basketball, and I'm like, we'll see
He was
if I
on the
play it.
basketball team, so I told him Hayden Grint is his name. I told him, he was like, you should play Cigarettes on Patio 7 times in a row. And I was like, of course, it's a college, right? So I know, I expect it. And I love playing the song live now. I think it's really fun. And so I'm like, all right, fine. If you beat me one-on-one in basketball,
Then you'll play.
then I'll play. And he's like, all right, bet. And I was like, okay, I'll show up at the court at 10:30. And he's like, okay, we're here waiting for you. I'm like, you got a size 12 pair of basketball shoes? He's like, yeah. And we just like, me and Price just went. And like, there was like 20 kids just watching me one-on-one with this kid.
You picked the right sport to find size 12 so easily.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right?
true. They were like, we called our coach to make sure we could get in.
Yeah, it was
like,
crazy.
Oh, that's unreal.
But yeah, it's like stuff like that, man. That like these kids never like. This kid was like, it's like in the middle of nowhere. You know, it's not like Alabama or like
Yeah.
LSU or
Not a
something.
major city
Yeah,
like
exactly. It's just like these kids don't have. They hadn't done a show in like 20 years
Man.
or something.
yeah, someone was like, no, they've done shows before.
Mills was
20
the
years
opener.
ago.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I met Mills at somebody's show recently. Was it it was Fellies.
Yeah, Mills.
He's a nice dude.
Mills was he's a sweetheart.
Dude, he's great.
killer.
He's
He's
awesome.
great. He can rock the crowd with like just vocals and guitar. You know.
That was
That's
so
sick.
random that we both got booked in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't, you didn't bring
Well,
him.
it was supposed to be Cody Lovas.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
who we
then-
were supposed to go skiing with that one time.
Yeah, and then Cody, I guess, pulled out. I guess he had some personal things going on, and then Mills filled the slot. And I don't know how it worked out, but anyways, yeah, doing festivals, doing college dates, putting music out. I got a
What-
single coming out. I told you on Friday, tonight.
Tonight.
shit.
Yeah. Trying to be consistent, independent, officially. Last time I was here, I was not independent
I know.
officially.
We were talking about that. So, but it's there's a dichotomy there that's so important. The fact that you understand what it's like to be signed, you understand what you need behind you. You had this like initial experience, which whatever the outcome is, the process teaches you everything you fucking need to know
yeah.
to make every step forward a better step and hopefully a more educated step.
100%. I think, first of all, I don't think labels are bad, period.
Totally.
I'm not against labels. I was at one point. I'm not, because I'm knowledgeable about what they provide. I'm actually probably going to go eventually into another record label deal. I don't know whether it's going to be this album or the next album or the next album, but I would like to have a team that one, first of all, believes in the music and understands the music. Two, that will put fucking, millions of dollars into budgets with essentially just hoping that the outcome is good. Not hoping, but like basically preparing themselves to be like, all right, we're going to invest $2 million in
Placing
marketing.
their bet.
Yeah, placing the bet, which I think you can't, it's still difficult to get that in other places because private investors don't necessarily understand what's going on so much.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like the grassroots marketing shit still works, man. Like promoting your shit on Instagram, promoting your shit on TikTok, fucking promoting your ticket sales, doing physical promotions. Like that shit still works. Radio is still a thing. Like all this shit,
I don't think anything dies. I think you just get more added to the pot. So things might become less important on their own. They'll do less on their own, but there's more options now. Now that you can split that pie into 50 pieces and have all these separate different chances of hitting different audiences and demographics, I think that's great. I think
big time.
And I think the direction you're going to is clearly very different than the cigarettes and patios days.
Yeah, but what's interesting is that like it's not that different. It's really not, because when you play it live, it's not different. It's not different. Like you'll come on Sunday to the Venice West show and you'll see this probably your first time seeing me proper live.
Second.
One was the first.
Here. When you played with Danny and
at the Echo.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But that was a fucking killer show.
Yeah, I thank you. I love that show. That was a great venue. But yeah, you get it then. You know what I'm saying? Like you play cigarettes on patios with a guitar playing the piano part. Like we don't have this is the whole band. I don't have a piano player anymore. I don't have a percussionist. Like you have cigarettes on patios being played by an electric guitar. The main chords being played by an electric guitar with a rock drummer and a rock bass player and me singing it with an attitude, and it turns into a rock song.
Yeah. It's the intention behind it.
Yeah. It's so like, it's crazy. I really think there's something to be said about rock and roll. I'm just going to call it rock and roll music. I always do this, but like live music with live instruments, I guess transcending other music, whether it's pop or hip hop or whether it's other even alternative music that's, an artist going up there with backing tracks.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference. Like I'm not going to list any names because this is a good friend of mine, but we played with somebody recently and the kids started leaving. He was the headliner. We were the opener, and the kids were like leaving sporadically his set to come and chill at the merch booth with us. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Go check that shit out. They're like, that's just kind of boring.
Well, we had the DJ age. You can't get more backing track than that. And don't get me wrong, I did that. I think it's an amazing
and there's
genre.
A time and a place.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. But there's something about seeing somebody on stage where that, first of all, for them to do what they're doing and make it look easy is not easy. That's fucking time. That's dedication. That's sitting in a room by yourself playing one thing over and over until your hands fucking bleed. There's something so fucking romantic and sexy about seeing somebody have the vulnerability to fuck up and still go give it their all.
And there's like kind of just a cosmic nature to a band. Like you're just there creating. It's beyond like a rehearsed set. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like you practice it like you're going to go up there and play it a certain way, but you get up there and really you're just like creating and pulsating, just vibing together.
Well, you practice so you don't have to on stage, like that.
Right, yeah.
That's the prereq to having that sort of ability to connect with the people on stage. Also finding the right people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can look at your friend on stage and you have this moment of like, all right, we know what we're doing. Let's do something different. That's beautiful.
Oh, totally. I agree with what Price is saying. Like, I know this because I'm a solo artist technically, but like, and it's hard because sometimes people come up to you and they're like, oh, well, what's your band's name? I'm like, oh, I'm BabyJake. And then I got to explain, I'm the solo artist or the backing band.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of hate saying it. I kind of I kind of want to stop saying it and just be like, the band's name is BabyJake.
We're BabyJake.
Yeah, we're BabyJake. Like, fuck it. Who cares? One. And two, like, they just, it's a force. He's right. It's like you walk in the room, like it doesn't matter. We could be in LA where everybody, like, you know, you're dressed up nice, you look fucking amazing. Like everybody dresses like not everybody dresses like us, but a lot of people dress like us.
Our community.
But even if we're still pulling up 4 people deep anywhere, even if it's a poppin' area like LA or New York, it's still like a presence.
Yes.
You feel it.
Yeah.
You know, and like especially when you go up on stage, and I think we're trying to make a good effort, especially me. I'm trying to make good effort at this. And I struggled with this in the past, but I talked about it last time. Like, we played that show sober. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to play these shows fucking sober and like come with the right mind to be like, yo, we want to play the best that we can.
Yeah.
If we celebrate afterwards or do whatever afterwards, like, that's great. But like, to me, man, like, I feel like most people in their 20s are just fucking, they're just wasting it.
Well, they want to be the rock star. They want to be the person. We see these fucking Jim Morrisons and all these people where
that we romanticize.
Yeah, and
that don't exist anymore, by the way.
Exactly. And there's
Right.
it's the same as the fucking douchey. Back in the day, you could get away with things differently. People didn't know who you are. I mean, think about how many fucking amazing artists we found out beat the shit out of their wives or their kids.
Right.
And we're just fucking
Totally.
vile people.
Totally.
That was so predominant. There's no room for that shit anymore. You can't be an asshole. You can't treat people like shit. And there's also enough room for everybody. So if you're the person spending your time trying to let everybody else fucking fall to their knees, you're not spending the time getting better and doing the shit that really matters.
Totally.
Price was also, we were just talking about this, yesterday or the day before? Like, these labels, man, these companies, management, labels, publishers, they don't stick up for that crap anymore, man.
No.
Like, there's the next kid that's hustling his ass off in his bedroom, that's popping his shit off on TikTok, on Instagram, that's making good music. Like, if you give them a heart, it's not like the Rolling Stones where they're like escorting them on the fucking plane
Exactly.
because they're like so fucking strung out,
Yeah.
but they can't do anything because they're the biggest band in the world. Like, they'll just fucking drop you.
Absolutely.
You know, they'll
Right,
drop.
there's room for that.
Yeah, they'll drop you and just pick up the next dude and be like, you're too big of a pain in the ass.
There's a better version of everybody out there.
100%. That's
True.
what I'm trying to say is like, for me, like, dude, I love partying, man. Like, I would, if partying didn't affect me in a mental state, in a physical state, and even a physical fitness shape, and like on stage and trying to do what I'm trying to do, I would be fucking partying every night. I love cocaine. I love fucking drinking. I love all that shit. I think it's amazing. Love women, love it all. But like, for me, I look at this and I'm like, I'm 26 years old now. And I look at it and I'm like, man, I'm already farther ahead than most people that are my age. But like, I'm trying to compete with like fucking Harry Styles, man. I'm trying to compete with fucking, Damiano David from Måneskin. Like, these guys who go up on stage and like, they're running down the pit and running up the pit and they're not missing a note.
Yeah.
And like, their physical fitness is peak. Their performance is peak. Like, they wake up, they're like, Harry Styles, like, people think that being a rock star is all fun and games, bro.
Fuck
like,
no.
Harry Styles is probably waking up at fucking 7 a.m. He's like, I want that outfit, that outfit, that outfit. Then he's like at a press. Then he's signing some shit. Then he's doing this. Then he gets like a little time off. Then he eats lunch. Then he has
works
sound
out.
check. Like,
Yeah.
like, dude, this is a full-time gig. And my buddy Josh Scott, who I'm doing that side project, Human Like You, the dance project with, said it the best. He's like, man, we're like athletes. We're just a different form of an athlete. We're not working like, I'm not going to say we're not doing it, but we're not working. We're not like bench pressing, 400 pounds like Derrick Henry or whatever. Like, we're out here bench pressing with our throat or like with our fingers playing the guitar or whatever, like that's our form of athletic, I guess, commitment, you could say.
Yeah, I remember I grew up with this artist named Grizz. He's a electronic artist.
Oh yeah, I love it.
He's amazing. Grant's the fucking man. I grew up, I knew him, gave me my first CD that I had in my first car, like, knew him really well, and I always knew him as a fucking huge stoner. That's who he is. He's the Wiz Khalifa of the EDM world, if you will. And I saw him go on stage once, and I went to hand him a joint. He goes, I can't smoke. I go, why? He goes, because that's for after. I have to be as sober as the most sober person in the room.
Wow.
He's like, it's a lot easier to connect with a drunk person, but to be sober, is the only way to connect with that sober person in the room.
Totally.
Oh man,
Totally.
that is exactly.
It's a great way to put it.
If you can get that person who's in the back of the room who doesn't talk to anybody to be dancing, like you're winning, man.
Absolutely.
And you should make sure to like, I try to make sure after every, like, I'm trying to ask everybody, you know, it's very easy to be like, at the merch booth afterwards, I shake somebody's hand and I'm like, oh, I'm BabyJake. And they don't say anything. I always ask them if they don't say it. I'm like, what's your name?
Yeah.
Like, you're a human too. You know,
Absolutely.
you deserve the experience. Like, I'm here because of you. So I feel like to make every person, like he said, to make every person, even the sober people, or maybe, the people that aren't so, that are maybe a little more internal and keep to themselves, to also feel like they had an amazing time.
Yeah, give them the opportunity to feel seen. And like what you were saying, like that conversation with somebody is what they're going to remember. They'll remember your show.
Yeah.
But they'll remember your show either way, but you want them to remember who played that show.
Yeah.
You know, and why they're going to go to the next one and why they're going to tell their friends, and also give them the opportunity. If you feel like the shit you're writing has validity and can actually help people, then it's your job to get as many people as you can to go look through that catalog, to get the emotion out of it and get the healing and whatever the fuck they need out of it. Yeah. And that's only going to happen if you give them an experience that makes them feel like a fucking human being.
Totally. And it's like, it's just like, it's taking what you do seriously. Like, not necessarily taking yourself seriously, but what you do seriously. You know, like, if you're an artist, you're probably sought out to go connect with people. You know what I mean? You're not going to... You wouldn't, you know, propose to your girlfriend hammered. Like, if you're trying to, if it's serious to you, you want to be there for it and like embellish the moment and like be hyper aware of what's going on.
Recollect it.
You know, not like, take advantage of it.
Yeah, like I started journaling like 6 months ago, maybe not even, probably like 4 months ago, and like, dude, I just realized how much I don't even remember. You know, not only from like, not even aside from drugs and alcohol or partying or whatever, just like how hard it is to stay in the moment. And like I'm going through this right now, and this is the first time that I feel like in my entire life thus far in my professional career, which is not that long, like let's say 8 years, right? 7-8 years, that I just realized, like, especially when I got independent and when I just like zoned everything out, moved to Nashville, zoned everything out, like dealt with a bad breakup with somebody who I really cared for, you know, and like all this shit, and just had to internalize and like deal with myself without alcohol, without drugs, without sex, without like, you know, being signed to a label and them like pushing you and hyping you up, like just dealing with everything on my shoulders. I realized that like I was just being too precious with everything, man. Yeah. Like I was just being precious. I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm too good for that. Or like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not, dude, my attitude now is like, oh, I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, you got a song, you could be fucking Joe Schmo. You got a song, send it to me, man. If it's a good song and I like it, like I'll hop on it. Like, especially right now, because I'm independent and I can do whatever I want. Like my attitude towards it is like, I started looking at this and being like, oh, everybody's doing this wrong. Yeah. Like this people, the consumer is not dumb. The consumer didn't have the internet in the 70s. You could shape the figure with how you wanted to shape them. Absolutely. That's not how it is anymore. Like these people are smart. And I think the primary problem with musicians and executives in the industry right now is that they think the consumer is dumb. And the consumer is not dumb. I don't know if they ever were, but if they ever were, they definitely aren't now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let's just start with that first thing right there and just be like, hey, at the end of the day, people are listening. We talked about this last time. People are listening based off of mood. People are listening based off of what experience they're in with their friends. Like, you don't have to be an artist anymore that does one specific thing. You can do whatever, man. Like, you know, it's you can't be precious out here. You just got to stay working. Yeah. Like you end up getting so precious and holding shit back for so long that you don't put anything out.
Yeah. Well, the playlist is the genre now, you know, and it's got far less boundaries. Yeah. You know, rock and roll is a great name for a group of a type of music, a feeling, but fucking feel good road trip is what most people are putting you into.
That's what I'm saying.
Or party or this or that, which has far less boundaries. Use that. Enjoy it. Be a fucking a creator, not a specific sound. But also like what you were talking about earlier, and just like our job in this industry, in art, in the fucking world, is to do our best every single day and hopefully get a little better the next day. That's it. If you're not a little bit better than you were the day before, it means that there's so much information you didn't take in and you didn't take seriously that is there for free. It's going to be there anyways. And I tell everybody this. I talked on the podcast I did a few days ago. You're the first person I send music to because I'm not looking for that was good. That was nice. No, I want to know what the fuck I could be doing better because I know you believe in me.
Yeah, totally.
That you got to treat your fans like that too. You got to treat the people on your
100%.
team like that. I don't care if they're packing road cases. They're part of the cog. They're a cog in the machine. You know, like all of this, all these pieces are specific to the type of person you want to be. And if you want to be rock and roll is getting people to dance and enjoy themselves while you're working your heart out on the stage. That's fucking rock and roll. And going back and having a beautiful life behind it that you're building because none of this is sustainable without that side of it. That's fucking rock and roll. You know, it's not getting fucked up and doing drugs all the time. Don't get me wrong. I built this podcast so I can hang out with my friends and get fucked up all the time.
Yeah.
But that's what this is for. This is a place that those 30 seconds in between songs,
Which is totally fine. And if it wasn't for me performing tomorrow, I would be having a glass of the whiskey, maybe.
And either way, it doesn't have to be that either. The conversation is the reason I'm here.
Totally.
And everything with it comes with the moment, and it comes with, you're going to be here many more times. We'll have more than enough time to get fucked up, but like, getting to sit here with all of you and like meet all of you that's why I love this. It's talking to people who feel similar, who love their instrument in a way that is hard to express to somebody that doesn't get it and doesn't play. I'm obsessed with the people who do this. I love the product, but the product is not there without the person
100%.
who went through
1000%.
shitty fucking life events.
Emotions.
And
and
all of
Absolutely.
it. And the ups, the downs, the great birthdays, the ones without the people you love, losing
Right.
people, getting new people in your life.
Max's birthday, by the
Yeah, it
way,
is
today.
Max's
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Max.
Unreal. There we go.
Yeah, too bad he hates us. He's not a people.
By the way, what do you guys all play? Will you just go through and tell me a little bit about each of you, what you play and how you ended up here?
Yeah. I play a little bit of everything. I mean, you know, like any artist, like real artist, real listener, I love everything. And so I like to make all kinds of stuff. I grew up playing bass, guitar, like stringed instruments. And so, but I love the bass, man. Like I'm a huge synth nerd and love guitar pedals and whatnot. But like, I always come back to like the groove of a song, you know?
Did you start playing electric or did you play upright?
Electric. Yeah.
Have you played upright?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I can noodle around. It's a great sound. Like sometimes I actually have one. I just
sick.
sample it. Sometimes I can't play all the parts I want.
So crazy.
It's fun. It's the
Yeah.
hardest instrument to mic because upright players always they turn.
Right.
So you're
Oh
doing
yeah.
this weird phase. It's the only thing I remember from college.
Yeah. But like that rhythm section behind the song, you know, I spend more time on just drums and bass sounds or whatever.
I'm a drummer. I get it. And
Totally.
picking up the bass, whether I know what I'm doing or not, I don't. It feels it's the next closest feeling to home.
Absolutely. I love how on the bass, like it's so much feel.
Yeah.
Like I really don't think about what notes I'm playing that much. I mean,
There's a
I'm playing all the
swagger
right
to
notes,
it.
I promise.
But that's also I guarantee to be able to say that took so many hours of working hard and learning
Absolutely.
the rules to be able to break them and understanding the people you're on stage with. Like to even be able to say that, you have to really love what you're doing because that's not fucking easy.
Right. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And this is Maxie.
Oh yeah. I'm a guitar player, singer and songwriter. Yeah, just figuring my stuff out. Meeting this fool over here on the right side of me.
It's a good fool.
He's an amazing fool that I stumbled into. And
Do y'all live in Nashville?
yeah, we do.
Okay.
All of us.
Everywhere.
We are from everywhere though. Which is great. I think that's a great byproduct of Nashville itself.
Absolutely.
Which is something that all four of us have grown to really love and accept.
Where are you from originally?
Baltimore.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Love
yeah.
Maryland.
Price is from Birmingham.
Birmingham, Alabama. I love
Alabama boy.
it. Awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Guitar's my bread and butter.
Beautiful.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
I'm a drummer. I'm a guitarist, and I'm also a frontman.
I love it.
Jake is one of the artists I play for. There's a couple other artists that I'm working with right now as a drummer. I play guitar for this other pop rock gig that's back in Nashville, and then I do my own solo stuff.
Beautiful. What's your solo stuff?
It's called The Retrospect. It's kind of like
That's a great name.
It is a great
Oh,
fucking name.
thanks. Thank you. No, I mean, it really launched as like an alternative rock. Like a lot of people are saying like, oh, this is kind of like Foo Fighters. Like,
Oh, sick.
I dig it. Like, it's like Foo Fighters. I got like 90s rock, like Smashing Pumpkins, Soundgarden kind of like feel and vibe to it.
I love it.
The last stuff I just put out was a little more like harder rock. But, no, man, it's one of those things where like I'm always writing like tracks. Shout out Josh Jordan calls it tracking off, where you just write tracks. You're not like actually writing the song or finishing the song, but you're just laying down a track.
You're there to make music.
So so I'm constantly writing just riffs and just tracks.
I love it.
All genres, and that's kind of like what I want the retrospect to be. But I mean, the thing I learned with myself is I like playing gigs. I like what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I like learning set lists, just grinding it out and just facing the challenge of what it is that I have to do.
It's very drummer of you.
Sure. Yeah, as you should know.
Absolutely.
You being a drummer yourself, but
it's the repetition.
yeah, but with that, I mean, the retrospect, my solo stuff is kind of taking a real big backseat. Like, I haven't really been doing much with it because, like, this is the priority. Like, this is what I moved to Nashville for.
Absolutely.
And it's happening so fast, and I love it.
Man, the beautiful thing is we got time to do it all. And there's certain times that are most necessary to devote your time to a specific thing.
100%.
Learn what you got to learn. But I love it. Everybody go look up Retrospect.
Thank you for the shout out. I appreciate it.
Of course.
And also back what Price said, and kind of like what we were talking about earlier with like backing tracks and playing live. We don't use backing tracks. We don't use a click track. Everything that you hear and what you see is raw. It's pure. And
It's also new every time.
it's
Like,
new
my head was at,
every
like,
time.
170 BPM yesterday, bro.
No
It was
way.
like, my head is in the clouds, don't feel like coming down, I'm trying to escape. Like, it was so fast.
I can see that working so well, though.
Yeah,
Some,
like-
like 4 on the floor.
Like, it's
type
hard.
shit.
Like, it's hard because sometimes we didn't even mean to play it that fast. We just did. And I feel like, yeah, it kind of like worked, you know? Like, I don't know. It's cool to not be kind of like subject to the parameters, I
Yeah.
guess, you know?
Well, and that's part of having a band is you're like, hey, we're going to do Head in the Clouds still, but follow.
I think it's like because we're all artists, like that's what makes it so much fun. Like we all like love the process of writing a song, what the song's trying to convey. Like we all love to write. And so, yeah, like watching everyone buy in, and instead of just being like, okay, like, what do you want us to play? Like Mitch will be like, let's stop here. Let's change the vibe here. Jake's gonna, like we like sort of try to envision the song.
I also think just with more gigs, more and more of that will happen. Naturally.
Yeah.
Because when you're not playing to a click and you're not, running tracks, like you can change the whole fucking thing halfway through. You can like completely change it. You don't even have to play the song in the same key. You know what I mean? You don't have to play the same chord progression. Like you can literally sing. You could make a song on stage. Like some of these old guys. And I keep in mind, I wanted to go back to this real quick. And this kind of combines with what I'm saying now. Keep in mind, like all these people we respected, right? Like Jim Morrison, Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, whatever, whoever you want to say. Mark Knopfler. What's his name? The Dire Straits. Like all these fools were trying. They were trying to do something different.
Yeah.
They just didn't have like as much shit as us. So obviously, like with going back to being precious and all that stuff. Like I'm sure if there was like a Diplo around back then, they would have been like, "Oh fuck yeah, dude, let's do it." Like I feel like we just romanticize this era of music. We meaning like I guess the alternative, like I don't know what you call it, hippies, whatever. But we romanticize this like era of music from like let's say the 50s, maybe even late 40s to like the 90s, right? Yeah. And like we kind of duck out some of the 80s sometimes because that gets like a little. We're like, it's like it's too synthy, too poppy.
It's a little weird.
But like all these dudes were just trying to experiment.
Exactly.
Like they just didn't have as many tools, and I think if they did, they would be doing it. And for a long time, I was like, no, it needs to be this way, or I need to be this, and I was always like 0-100. Now I'm just like, dude, fuck it. Like last weekend, I got a song coming out with Zoo and Duvall. Like last weekend, I was like, fuck it, let's do it. let's do it. Like, let's shoot the music video. Let's do it. Like, I'm doing a song with my friend Andre Azizov in New York, who's like primarily a graphic designer, but like has been a producer for his whole life. And like, he's like, yo, I'll help you with all the graphic design stuff if you help me with some of the music shit. And I listened to some of the beats and I was like, dude, these are fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like, fuck all that shit. Fuck the name. Fuck the genre. Fuck that. Like, just have fun, man. Like you said, like, I fell out of love with music. I fell out of love with music because I got caught up listening to the business.
Yes.
I fell out of love with music because I got caught up listening to the business of music. And I'm not even going to say listening to other people. It might even been voices in my own head. But I didn't enjoy the process anymore. And I had to rip it all apart, rip everything fucking off.
Yeah.
You know, even some of the bandages that were covering up scars and shit.
The comfortability.
You know, yeah. And be like, let me get to a place where I fucking love this again.
Yeah.
You know, why did I do this in the first place? It had nothing to do with like, you know, I never wanted to be a star. I never wanted to be like picking up girls from this shit. Like, sure, it's great to do that. But like, I was writing music because it was an emotional outlet for me.
Absolutely.
You know, and when you get so far away from that, it's very difficult to, I think most artists actually, they drift off and they just lose it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then they either don't become an artist or they're so fucking big that you have a situation like I'm reading the Motley Crue book right now where these guys are just like, they're off their fucking rocker.
Yeah.
You know, and Aerosmith is writing them letters, like Steven Tyler's leaving them a fucking letter on their private jet being like, yo, we've been there, bro. Like, you guys need to like shape up, you know, like it's a crazy thing because you can get so far from it. And really at the end of the day, that's the only thing that fucking matters is like, why did you do it in the beginning?
Yeah.
You know, and if you are doing it, I'm just going to say this right now. If you're doing it to be a star or to pick up chicks or do all that shit, you're not doing it for the right reason.
It ain't going to work out.
It's not going to work out. Like you might get somewhere, but you're going to get there and then you're going to be like, yeah, or it might quote unquote work out, but you won't be an artist for forever. Yeah. Like the people that are artists for forever and that are writers for forever and like sit there, they fucking love this shit, man.
Well, and I think we get to this point where we become so practiced and it becomes so accessible that you forget that at the beginning of this, it all came out of this fight or flight reason to need to save yourself from whatever fucking life throws
100%.
at you.
Yeah.
And when life gets a little too cushy, you forget what you have to save yourself from until it gets to the point where it's all back full throttle.
Yeah.
You know, it's like being an addict. Like being an addict sucks because sometimes you don't realize you fell back into your old habits until it's too late. And now you have to go through this recovery again. That's no different. Obviously sometimes they go hand in hand, but
Totally.
But if you're doing this, it's important to know your business. It's important to understand where you want to go because if you love this so much, you need to make money.
Yes.
That is a necessity. But making money can be done fucking being a nanny. You can work at a bank. You could be a doctor. There's so many different things. This is not the one that you pick just to make the money. I promise you will hate it more than when you started.
100%, man. You got to fucking love it. You know, you have to love it. And like, sometimes you're your own. I was getting in my own way.
Yeah.
Like we probably did a podcast 2 years ago where I'm like, Cigarettes on Patio is my least favorite song. It's not, dude, that's just probably my favorite song right now.
Yeah.
Like, I just hated it because I'm like, I've grown so much. I'm so much like more thought out than this now, you know? And like, who gives a fuck, bro?
But having that idea and understanding that you said that for whatever reason you were in at that moment.
Sure.
That's one of the fucking rungs on the ladder.
No, I agree.
It has to be there.
I agree. I think all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, the part that is about, quote unquote, about the artist or about the writer or about the producer is the creation. Once it's out of your fucking hands, it's no longer yours.
Yeah.
And we talked about this before. It's the world's. And if they fucking love it, you got a responsibility to cherish that moment or I guess like help harvest that moment with them. Like you were talking about earlier, whether it's the person who's sober in the crowd or whatever, like whether it's that one fucking song, like sure, I'm not saying you got to play every fucking, you got to show up and you're Prince, you got 67 albums and you got to play all 67 albums. But I'm just saying like, you know, there's songs obviously that do better than others. And like, if people love them, man, you should love them too for being loved. You know what I'm saying? And I drifted way far away from that. way far away from that. And now I'm just like, man, I'd said this and you literally yesterday, and that was not even close to like one of the biggest shows I played. Like I said, 150 kids or something. Like we played Lollapalooza last year with 6,000 people. Like we played Boise fucking a month ago with 2,000 people. Raging, like way harder than yesterday. But yesterday, I just, for some reason, I had the wherewithal and the thought to be like, man, this is fucking crazy, y'all. Like we're on a stage. Like we're playing in front of like fucking people.
Present moment thoughts.
Like I didn't used to think like that at all, you know? And now I'm thinking every time I'm just like, when I get a bad thought, I'm just like, oh yeah, but like, bro, you're making money from this.
That also
Like-
just means you're taking tomorrow as a lesson.
Yeah.
Every tomorrow is a fucking lesson.
Yeah.
And also like you're 26 now, you're 25 last time you're here, or 24, whatever it is. You need to fucking grow. Could you imagine? Have you ever had the people that come up to you from high school or middle school and they're like, wow, I can't, this is not you. You didn't used to dress like this or act like this or play that.
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, 15
We were just
fucking years
talking about
ago,
that too.
Yeah.
I also couldn't grow fucking hair at my face and my dick was half the size. I'm changing. Yeah. I'm taller too. Crazy. I also have new cousins that were born. Wild. Can I not have that either? It's like you're supposed to fucking move. You're supposed to change. We're not these solid objects. We're fucking fluid.
Yeah,
We
not
have
supposed
to
to
do
be
it.
stagnant. Yeah.
And that's the journey.
100%.
That's like the beauty, you know. I think honestly, a lot of artists, even if they're on the right track, they're just like get so concerned. They skip over the shows like we did yesterday.
Yes.
Like they're not there to just enjoy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've been playing just like in rock bands since I was like 13, and I'm still trying to move into like producing my own projects in different genres and all kinds of stuff. And then yesterday we're just back in small town America, like ripping some rock and fucking roll. And dude, it was,
beat that.
I had such a great time. Like
Me too,
Incredible.
man. Like, and I got out there, like I'm saying that, you know, there's two sides to the sword, I guess. Like, for one, I got out there for them, but the other side is like, I got out there for me. Like, I wanted to play the songs with these guys. I wanted to go out there and play. Like, more than anything, I'm just having fucking fun. Like, that's what, if you're just having fun, people feel it, you know? And like, the best way, I think, to make sure that you're addressing both, and this goes back to not trying to take it back into the sobriety thing, but the best way to make sure that you're paying attention to the audience and yourself and your own thoughts is to be in your right mind.
Yeah.
Right. And whether that's some people, for some people, that is having 2 or 3 drinks or whatever, you know, or doing 2 lines of cocaine. I don't fucking know. But for me, I know that like, for me to feel the feeling before stage and be like, to have the wherewithal in my brain by myself with no substance, with nothing, to be like, I'm just gonna go out there and have fun, is crazy, bro. I'm telling you right now, if I would have had that thought process, I mean, I had some injuries in high school too, but if I would have had that thought process in high school when I was playing sports, I would have been fucking pro. I wouldn't even been here right now doing music, but I was so scared of like fucking up all the time.
Yeah.
Or like making a mistake or disappointing so-and-so or doing this or like, instead of just trying shit, you know, and being like, I'm gonna go out and have fun. Like, I'm gonna do this because I love it, you know? And we went out there yesterday and like, we all had a fun time, man. And like, yeah, you know, I fucking played the wrong chord 2 hooks in a row on a song. It's okay. Like, it's fine. I correct it. I move forward.
Is it the wrong chord if it's 2 hooks in a row? Or is it just a new chord?
That's what I'm saying. You know, it's also like not 2 hooks in a row, but like 2 times in a row.
Totally.
But like, it was just like little mistakes don't fucking matter when you're in that vibe. Like, nobody even notices it. Like, the only person who notices is me, or Price playing the wrong bass note, or him hitting the wrong lick, or Mitch accidentally filling a fill too soon. Like, nobody fucking notices.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, as long as you're having fun, all the rest of it kind of dissipates into nothingness. It's like, who gives a fuck? And people feel that. They feel that more than
Absolutely.
anything, you know?
And it's working. That's the thing. We talked about this last time. My brother is a few years younger than you.
Great guy.
He's
Love that
amazing.
guy.
And he's a fan of rock and roll. He's a fan of live music. And he's a fan of going to your show just as he is hearing one of his favorite artists from 50 years ago. what, like what else could you ask for? You're making the small little incremental changes that get you to become the person that you're the most excited to wake up as.
Yeah.
And you can't be that tomorrow. You can't be that the next day. That takes time, and that's ever changing. And what that looks like is ever changing. But like the fact that you're doing it, and the fact that this conversation is so different than last time makes me so excited for you, because I think you fucking deserve to be as happy on stage as you're making everybody else. And if you can get closer to that every time, dude, you're fucking winning.
We're just happy in life, man.
Yeah.
Like this relates to everything. I made a new TikTok because my old TikTok was like so fucked up, right? Made a new TikTok. I was telling them today too. I'm like, man, I'm done fucking worrying about shit. I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
And like once I started having fun with it and just stopped trying to be something, like stop trying to be something.
Yeah.
Just be. You don't got to be something. Just fucking be, man.
be
and
you.
that's it. Like
Yeah.
what matters to you?
Honestly, bro, you seem happier.
I'm so happy, dude. Like it's honestly emotional. I'm like borderline about to cry right now because it's just like, I wish I just would have saw it. Like I don't regret anything I did. I just
Totally.
wish I would have saw it earlier.
Absolutely.
Because like I didn't realize I probably burned a lot of bridges and like pissed a lot of people. I know that I burned a lot of bridges, pissed a lot of people off, and maybe mistreated people, maybe mistreated my own values, maybe mistreated situations in business, everything. And I just look back at that and I'm like, man, if I only just thought about it, the only thing that changed was my thought process.
The only thing that can overcome negative situations or negative talk is positive talk.
That's it, man.
If you're wrong about something, go have the opportunity to be right.
Yeah.
That's it. You
And
don't
there's
sit
one
on
thing
it.
with like joshing around with your friends, or whatever, but like
Totally.
it's another thing to like put somebody down.
Yeah.
I've been trying to not do that, man. Like,
Keep the people you love closest.
even the people that you don't love,
Yeah.
bro. Like even the people that like I'm going through I got out of my record label deal, but I was still signed to a production deal, and I'm going through that right now to get out of that, which is a whole nother thing for me to be completely free. And like, straight up, like these people just used and abused their power to take advantage of a young artist who didn't know what he was doing, who was very talented, myself. And I forgive these people. Like I'm not even out of it yet, and I already forgive them. Yeah. Old Jake would have been like, fuck them. Let's burn this bridge. Let's burn this shit to the fucking ground. Let's start a war. Like I was raised that way, to like have a chip on your shoulder, So I think that to have that level-headedness, to be like, I forgive, man. Like keep your fucking friends close, keep your enemies closer. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not even enemies, just people that might have fucked you over.
Yeah.
Like, just don't. It's not worth it.
And
It's not worth it.
Nobody acts like a shitty person for no reason. That's the thing
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
In the same way that there's situations you regret, I guarantee there's people that have wronged you that feel the same way.
100%.
And the only thing you can do is be the best person you can at that moment, and hopefully that continues to grow for you all the time. But you're fucking doing it, dude. I love it. I love to see you happy. I love to see you with happy people, and talented people. I'm excited to see you play more, and I'm
This Sunday.
still a fan.
And tomorrow.
Oh, and tomorrow, yeah. But he's going to come on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Oh, word.
So yeah,
Whoever you want to bring, let me know.
okay, deal. I'll bring her.
She's
There
the
we go.
best. She's
Dude,
so
she
Put her in a
is.
nice dress. She's so happy right now.
She's just like a liquid. She's just like fit.
Speak of a liquid, yeah, she just melts. But thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you
Oh,
for
yeah, dude.
doing this.
course.
Thank you for all the continued support you've always had.
I love
You are
your
the
shit,
first
man.
person to like everything. You're the first person to let me know how I'm doing, to comment, to root me on, to connect me with people. And I promise you, it's not unseen. I appreciate it daily. And
I love it. I love what you're doing, man. I think
Thank
it's
you.
great. I really do.
Thank you. And it was so great to meet you guys. I'm excited
Yeah,
to
man,
watch
it was
you
a
play
pleasure.
and
great to meet you, man.
to hopefully do many more of these.
Hey, we got 2 bras thrown on stage last night, so
I love it. Bring them next time. We'll start hanging them up.
hopefully.
There we go.
Well, I love you guys. Thank you so much. And maybe we go record a little song.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. And thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for listening. Go stream the music. Go follow them on social media. Go pay for tickets to their shows and buy merch and give them a hug when they're off stage.
Do it.
Thank you guys. And to everybody listening,
This is BabyJake and the Mojo, and this is an experiment.
yeah, it is. Bye, everybody. I love you.
I fucking love that.
experiment.